pastor says, this will preach a long time. Because what you just saw was you looked at this and then you looked at me and it made it look like I was getting smaller. And then you looked at this and you looked at me and it made it look like I was getting bigger. And of course we all know neither of those things was actually happening. But it was what you looked at first that changed the way that you saw me. And what an interesting proposition that is, to realize that the things we pay attention to always, not sometimes, not some of the time, not occasionally, not once in a while, always change the way that we see the world around us. What we allow into our eyes, into our mind, into our thoughts, into our heart, that changes the way that we see what is going on around us. It changes the way we make decisions about how we interact. It makes decisions about how we give. It makes us make different decisions about how we live, how we lead. So here's what I will tell you. I will challenge you. I want to just expand on something Vitale said. You know what? There are a lot of people in this country who have a lot more resources than those of us in this room. But it is very easy to say it's their fault. Because every one of us has things we don't need, but we want. And it's very easy to set the responsibility for helping other people around us on people who have more than I do. Because that takes the responsibility off of me. Puts it on them. And I can be jealous. I can be vindictive. I can be critical. But all of that is time I could have spent solving the problem. All of the energy I spend blaming other people. So there's plenty of people who have more. There's plenty of people who have less than those of us in this room, including me. I've lived a relatively privileged life. Not, just a middle-class guy from a southern state. I've been fortunate. I've been in debt. I've never been homeless. From my lips to God's ears, I hope it never happens to me. But I know people who have. I'm related to people who have. I know people who have had their lives turned upside down by economics, by weather. I'm from Mississippi. By weather, by tornadoes, by floods. And it is very easy for me to sit around and say, well, that's why I pay taxes. Or that's why I tithe. Or that's what somebody else should do. Someone who is richer than I. Somebody who has a Mercedes should solve this problem. I shouldn't solve this problem. And so that's why it inspires me to be around people like Vitale. Because she has embraced a problem and isn't waiting for other people to solve it. So I will challenge you. I'm no preacher. But I will invite you. I will extend the invitation to join her or find your own journey. Because none of us can live by excuse. All right? Let's move on. Something good. There are different kinds of magic. I've performed sleight of hand and visual illusions all over the world, but many of you may have heard of a show called The Mentalist on CBS. When that show premiered, the local CBS reporter called me down and did a story called Atlanta's Real Life Mentalist, because I've been performing mentalism for many years. It is a branch of the illusion arts. I'm not going to claim to read your mind. I don't believe that. I don't believe that people read your mind. I believe that your thoughts are between you and the one who made you. Right. But my job is to create the experience for you. And if we lose the mic, I'll project from the diaphragm. So we'll be fine. We're trained at it. So I'm going to do the best I can. I will work for you as if I were working for my Lord to give you the best performance I can. What I have here are some books. I was asked to speak at a conference some years ago. They asked me to do it. It was using scary books that had been made into scary movies. Dracula, back before vampires were teen romance, they were actually scared. So this is back before they were glistening. They were very frightened. And this is Dracula. And this is a book. I was looking for Fatal Attraction. You know that movie with Glenn Close? And you don't know, you know. I'm 43. I've seen it. So I couldn't find it. I found this. This is just a Lifetime Network movie. But here's what we'll do. I'd like Perhaps this lady will choose one of these books. Choose one of these books. She's going straight for Dracula. And let's go back here to, how about this table? Would you take this other book, man? Yes, at this table right here. You'll just hold that. What's your name? Mary. I'll come back to you in a minute. My name's Joe. What a coincidence. Mary and Joe. This for December, we can have a really good time. Let's come over here. What's your name? Denise, if you'll just open your book and you see all the pages are different. It doesn't say Dracula 10 million times in this book. I guess about 60,000 words in this book. Can you see the words? You can't see them at all? Okay, I'm just going to run. If I hold it like that, can you see any of the words? I'll pause. We're going to get some technical assistance. That's good. So you just say stop anywhere, Denise. Look at the first word on the page. Don't say it out loud. Have you got it? Now, you can see it's different on every page. But she has now got a word in mind out of the 50 or 60,000 words in this book. She is thinking of one that she chose at random. Don't say it out loud. I'm just going to try to get a sensation of the word that you're thinking of, the meaning of the word. And so if you'll just clear your mind and just get a sense of the word that you're thinking of. And the first thing I'm getting is that it's a description of some kind of conflict. Or not a conflict, but some kind of distinction. There's something that's something different about these things. Is that correct? Does that resonate with what you're saying? I'm getting a sense that for some reason I'm getting like something is opposite. Does that make sense? Something is not in conflict, but it's just like it's the flip side of something. It's the other side of something. Something means that it's not the same. I don't know if it's different or dissimilar or unlike each other, but it has to do with things that are not the same but are different. Is that correct? What's the exact word you were thinking of? Unlike. Unlike. So I got the right concept for you. I did finally say the exact word, but I think I zeroed in on the concept first. So that's good. That's a good warm-up. Mary, if you'll open your book to any page that you like. I'm not going to come all the way out there. Just open the book to any page you like. Stick your finger in there at random. You see there's tens of thousands of words. Just stop anywhere. Put your finger on any place on the page. Look around your finger. You've got a few dozen words to choose from. Pick a nice long word. Something impressive. Have you got one? Close something you can remember and something you can picture in your head. Just close the book. Don't tell anyone your word. Pass the book up to this table over here. You'll pass it to Cordell, right? Cordell. And if you'll pass it to Erica, Erica, if you'll reach behind you, here's a book. If you'll just open that book to any page, Erica, don't say it out loud, but just stick your finger in there and stop anywhere and pick a nice long word, something you can visualize in your mind. I just don't want to get table or cat or something obvious. I want something unusual but long. Have you got a word? Close the book. Is it closed already? So I didn't even, you did that before I was even. I'll take the book back because I don't want this to be about looking in a book. I want it to be about being in your mind. If you'll just stand up, you don't have to come forward. If you please just stand up, you don't have to come forward. I want you to imagine that imagine you're in a movie theater. You're alone. Nobody's there. It's just you and a big screen. And the word that you are thinking of, you haven't written it down, you haven't told anyone, the word you're thinking of is being projected onto that screen. I'm going to try to get a sense of the picture that you're thinking of. And so this will be Mary and this will be Erica. Mary, if you will, think of the first letter in your word. Don't say it out loud just yet. Some letters have straight lines, some letters have curved lines. We're going to go for all caps here, okay? Makes it easier for me. All capital letters. Just think of the first letter, the shape, the construction, the way it looks. Look at me if you will. And I will go with this for Mary. And you're doing the same. You're thinking of your first letter. And I'll do that for you. And Mary, what was your first letter? Please say it. W. Did you have a W? What was your first letter? Think of your second letter, if you will. If you will.
He's human.
Here's the thing. I had a T.
Okay.
Sometimes, I'm a mistaken person, I get it. So, is it possible that the last letter of your word is a T? Yes. So the last letter of your word is a T. So I'll work it backwards that way. I'll just flip. If you'll think of your second letter, look at me. And I'm getting all straight lines, which is good. And you're thinking of your second letter now as well. And it is the same. In fact, you guys, on the count of 3, I'll snap my fingers and please say your second letter. 1, 2, 3.
E.
E. Yes, very good. If you will, think of the last letter of your word, Mary. Look at me. The last letter of your word. I'm going to do that so that you already see what I'm committed to. What was your last letter?
R.
R. Yes, that's what I have. If you will, don't say anything out loud. Please hold your applause. I'm going to go a little over my time, but I want to. Let your mind go into the middle of your word, somewhere in the middle, and just stop on a letter. It ran T. You went past it. You're looking.